Okay, welcome to Spain. You've finally arrived. You're probably unpacking your bags, maybe sipping on that first real café con leche, and now you've got to sort out the paperwork. If you're a remote worker looking to legally live and work here, you are in exactly the right place. Welcome to this explainer where we're going to completely demystify the International Teleworker Permit. And look, we're not going to get bogged down in confusing legal theory or endless history today. We're just focusing strictly on the practical facts you need to actually get this done.
I know Spanish red tape can cause a ton of anxiety. It's, kind of famous for being a bit of a labyrinth. But don't sweat it, because today we're equipping you with a highly practical, factual action plan derived straight from the official 2023 Instruction Conjunta. That's the joint instruction that dictates the exact requirements. We're breaking this whole thing down so you know exactly what to prepare and exactly what to expect.
All right, let's dive into this roadmap. Step 1 is choosing your path. Step 2 covers financial requirements. Step 3 is work and background. Step 4 is the document checklist. And Step 5 is submitting online.
Starting right off with Step 1, choose your path. So, Step 1 is really all about figuring out where you're starting from. It's the first major decision you need to make, and it entirely depends on your current physical location. Now, the law, specifically Ley 14-2013, distinguishes between two main routes for international teleworkers. On one side, we've got the visado, or visa, which you apply for from outside of Spain, usually at a Spanish consulate. But on the other side, we have the autorización de residencia, the residence permit. Since you guys have already touched down and arrived in Spain, we're focusing squarely on this second route, the autorización de residencia. And just a quick aside, this is specifically for remote workers and freelancers, not for intra-company transfers. Those have their own totally separate rulebook.
Moving right along to Step 2, financial requirements. Obviously, Spain wants to know you can actually support yourself while you're living here. To understand these strict financial thresholds, you've really got to understand this one acronym, SMI. It stands for Salario Mínimo Interprofesional, which is basically Spain's official minimum wage. Every single financial calculation for this permit is tied directly to this exact metric. So for the year 2026, the SMI is set at 1,221 euros per month across 14 payments. That totals exactly 17,094 euros per year. Keep that baseline in mind because it's super important.
So the crucial point here is this. As the main applicant, you are required by law to prove a monthly income of exactly 200% of the SMI. Based on those 2026 figures we just looked at, that translates to approximately 2,850 euros per month. You absolutely must show that your remote work brings in at least this amount, consistently.
But what if you're bringing the family along? Well, the law scales the requirements. For your first dependent family member, let's say your spouse, you need an additional 75% of the SMI. That adds about 1,070 euros, meaning a couple needs roughly 3,920 euros per month in total. For every extra family member after that, like a kid, you add another 25% of the SMI, which is about 360 euros per person. Just remember, these exact euro amounts are indicative. They change every single year when the government updates the new SMI. But those baseline percentages, the 200, the 75, and the 25, those are your golden rules. Let's jump into Step 3, work and background.
Now, what's really interesting here is that having the cash is honestly only half the equation. The law demands a few absolute prerequisites regarding your professional history and your health coverage before you can even click Apply. And here is a massive trap that so many applicants fall into. Health insurance. Listen carefully. Seguros de viaje, travel insurance, are strictly and explicitly invalid for this permit. No exceptions. You literally cannot use a backpacker's policy. You must have comprehensive public or private health insurance with an entity actually authorized to operate in Spain, and it has to remain active for the entire validity period of your permit. Right alongside your health coverage, your background needs to check a few very specific boxes. Professionally, you need to prove an ongoing working relationship, whether you're an employee or a freelancer, of at least 3 months prior to applying. Furthermore, the foreign company paying you, they must have been continuously active for at least a full year. You are also going to need a clean criminal record from your countries of residence for the last 2 years, plus a sworn declaration that you have no record for the last 5 years. Actually, scratch that. Quick tip on that. The 5-year declaration isn't even needed if you've already been legally in Spain for over 6 months. Finally, you must hold a degree from a recognized university, vocational or business school, or you just need to prove a minimum of 3 years of professional experience in analogous functions.
Okay, on to Step 4, the document checklist. Now grab a pen, because this is exactly what you need to gather according to the 8th instruction of the 2023 regulations. Think of this as your master list. I'm keeping the official Spanish terms here so you recognize them when you're looking at the portals. First, you need your pasaporte, your full, valid passport. You need proof of your tasa, that's the application fee payment. You need your signed application form. Next up, a formal company letter explicitly authorizing you to work remotely from Spain, or if you're self-employed, a document outlining the terms of your activity. You also got to attach proof of that 3-month work relationship and the company's 1-year activity, your proof of economic means, your clean criminal record, your valid health insurance, a social security responsibility declaration, and proof of your degree or your 3 years of experience. Oh, and an absolutely massive critical detail here. Any public documents from outside of Spain must be officially legalized or apostilled, otherwise they will flat out not be accepted.
Almost there. Step 5. Submitting online.
So, you've got your papers gathered, apostilled, and translated where necessary. Now it's time to face the final bureaucratic boss. Because you're applying for the autorización de residencia from within Spain, you won't be visiting a consulate at all. Instead, you'll submit everything online to the UGE-CE. That stands for Unidad de Grandes Empresas y Colectivos Estratégicos, the Large Companies and Strategic Collectives Unit. This is the specific government body that holds the keys to your digital nomad future here in Spain.
Let's see how this builds to an incredibly satisfying conclusion. Step 1, you apply online via the UGE-CE portal while you are legally in Spain. Step 2, you wait 20 working days. And Step 3, well, Step 3 is the absolute magic of Spanish bureaucracy actually working in your favor. It's called silencio administrativo positivo, positive administrative silence. Under Ley 14/2013, if you apply for this residence permit and hear absolutely nothing back in 20 working days, your application is legally deemed granted. Boom. Done. Once approved, this initial authorization gives you the right to live and work in Spain for a full 3 years.
Now, just to wrap things up, we absolutely have to include this vital reminder straight from our sources. This explainer provides informational guidance only. It is not legal advice. The SMI changes, personal situations vary, so always verify your specific case with the official immigration portal or a qualified professional. But honestly, armed with this structured checklist, you are more than ready to conquer that UGE-CE portal. Once you have that 3-year permit in your hand and the entire Iberian Peninsula at your fingertips, the only real question left is, which Spanish city are you gonna call home first?